I remember the night I realized how empty my life had become. It wasn't dramatic. There was no big fight, no tragic accident, no sudden loss. It was just me, sitting in a dimly lit room, staring at my phone screen, scrolling endlessly, and feeling absolutely nothing. Do you know that kind of emptiness? The one where you're surrounded by noise, by images, by people living their best lives online, and yet inside you feel hollow, like a shell of yourself. That was me. I had everything that should have made me happy. A job, a roof over my head, people who cared. But when I lay in bed at night, I felt this ache, this quiet heaviness pressing on my chest, whispering, something's missing. And maybe you felt that too. Maybe you've woken up in the morning and wondered, what's the point? Why am I even doing this? I used to think happiness was about achieving things. If I worked harder, if I earned more money, if I finally got recognition, then I would feel whole. But the truth was, every milestone I hit just left me emptier. I'd post about it online, get a few likes, maybe even congratulations, but when the screen went dark, the silence returned. There was a night I remember vividly. I was sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee gone cold. I stared at it like it had answers I couldn't find, and I whispered to myself, is this it? Is this what life is supposed to feel like? It scared me how numb I had become. And the worst part was, I didn't even know how to fix it. Maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you're scrolling through videos, hoping something, anything, will break through the fog you're in. Maybe you're hoping that somewhere, someone understands the emptiness you can't even put into words. Well, I want to tell you this, I've been there. I've sat in that silence. I've felt that weight. And I want to share with you the one thing that cracked the darkness open for me. The one thing that gave me a spark of light when I thought I was drowning in emptiness. It wasn't success. It wasn't a big achievement. It wasn't even a life-changing event. It was something far simpler, almost too simple to believe. But it saved me. And maybe, if you let it, it can save you too. It was gratitude, not the cliché kind you see in motivational quotes. Not a forced smile or fake positivity. I'm talking about the raw, messy, quiet act of stopping, just stopping and noticing one thing in my life I hadn't lost yet. One thing I could still hold on to. One thing that mattered, even when everything else felt meaningless. And at first, it was tiny, almost embarrassingly small. Like, hey, at least I have this cup of coffee. Or, at least I can hear the rain outside my window. But little by little, those tiny moments of noticing pulled me out of the hole I was in. They didn't erase my pain. They didn't solve all my problems. But they gave me something my emptiness had stolen from me. A reason to keep going. Asterisk gratitude wasn't some magical switch. It wasn't like I woke up one morning thankful for everything and suddenly felt whole again. No, it was clumsy, uncomfortable, and at times even forced. I didn't want to be grateful. I wanted answers. I wanted solutions. But every time I searched for something big enough to fill the void, I came up empty. So I told myself, start small. Just notice one thing. Just one. The first time I tried, it felt fake. I wrote in a journal, I'm thankful for my bed. And honestly, it felt ridiculous. My mind screamed, a bed. That's all you've got. But that night, as I lay there, I thought about what it would feel like not to have that bed. To be cold, to be outside, to not have a place to lay my head. And for a split second, I felt a flicker of something. Not joy, not happiness, but presence. I felt present, and that was enough. So the next day, I did it again. I'm thankful for this warm cup of tea. And again, my mind argued, this won't fix your life. But I held that cup in my hands, felt its warmth seep into my skin, and realized, maybe it doesn't have to fix my life. Maybe it just has to remind me that not everything is empty. Over time, these small practices began to stitch my brokenness back together. I started noticing things I had taken for granted, the smile of a stranger, the way sunlight hit the trees on my walk, the sound of my favorite song coming through the car speakers. And slowly, the emptiness began to loosen its grip. I still had problems. Life was still messy. But instead of being consumed by what I lacked, gratitude reminded me of what I still had. And that shift, that quiet shift, changed everything. I remember one morning, I woke up, and for the first time in months, I didn't dread the day ahead. I looked out the window, saw the sky turning pink with sunrise, and whispered, "Thank you." I didn't even know who I was thanking, God, the universe, life itself, but it didn't matter. That thank you was a lifeline, a way of saying, I'm still here. I still see beauty. I still have something worth holding on to. And I think that's the thing about gratitude people don't understand. It's not about denying your pain or pretending everything is fine. It's about admitting, yes, life hurts. Yes, I feel empty. But even here, in this emptiness, something still matters. Gratitude doesn't erase the darkness. It plants tiny lights inside it. And those lights, one by one, are what guide you forward. Asterisk. If you're listening to this, and you feel that emptiness pressing on your chest, I want you to know, you are not alone. I've felt it too. And I won't lie to you, it doesn't vanish overnight. But there is a way through it. And it begins with gratitude. Not the loud, flashy gratitude plastered on Instagram posts. I'm talking about quiet gratitude, raw gratitude. The kind you whisper to yourself when no one's around. The kind that notices a single breath, a single sip of water, a single moment of peace. When life feels empty, gratitude doesn't fill it all at once. It doesn't flood you with joy or erase your struggles, but it does something far more powerful. It reminds you that emptiness is not all there is. It shows you that even in the darkest nights, there are still stars above you. Even in the heaviest storms, there's still a rhythm to the rain. Even in the silence, there is still life beating in your chest. I know it's hard. I know some days you don't want to try. But gratitude isn't about trying harder. It's about noticing. It's about pausing, even for just a moment, and saying, this matters. This small, fragile thing matters. And when you begin to notice those little things, they add up. They weave together into something bigger than emptiness. They remind you that your story isn't over yet. So tonight, when you're alone with your thoughts, when that heaviness comes creeping back, I want you to do just one thing. Whisper to yourself one reason, just one, that you're thankful to still be here. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real, because sometimes gratitude doesn't just change your day. It can save your life, and if you let it, it will.